Hello, everyone. My name is Nicole. I'm your relationship coach and your motivational speaker. So, God bless you. Happy to have you. Welcome, right? I wanted to volunteer some information, and we live in a time where so many people are putting too much power in these prophets and preacher and people of the faith, right? I want you to have such a close relationship with Jesus that when people attack you, they are attacking him. And that's the purpose of like us reading our Bible, right? We read our Bible because we need the word, because you can't fight the devil without knowing God's truth. And a lot of times when stuff happens to us, it's taken way too personal, right? Like sometimes people forget how good God is, or even though this one thing isn't going your way, there's 20 other things that's going your way, right? It's kind of the 80-20 rule, right? It's like when you're getting 80% and it's consistent, and then you don't get your 20%, you can get overwhelmed. And if you are not in good company, you can be misguided and led astray, right? So I want to make this video, and I hope and pray it's a blessing to you to give you some balance, okay? It's not for us to fight our battles, because sometimes God wants to grow us mentally, emotionally, spiritually, financially. Sometimes God wants to teach us empathy. So if you're familiar with my channel, you know I'm an Army brat, and I grew up in the suburbs, and I was raised around white people all my life, but I'm in the Black community. I'm a Black woman, right? And so I had to exist in both worlds. So even though I, come from a military family, and my mom did over 20 years active duty, right? It gave me the opportunity to be raised in these really nice suburbs, but my mom was bad with money, and she created the struggle, right? Like my mom was getting several cash advances and going going to the pawn shop, and she was on check systems, and she's filed 2 chapter 7s and a chapter 13, right? And so she's always been bad with money. And I could look at that situation, I could say, God, like of all people, you gave me her. But God allowed me to have empathy. So when I'm interacting with other people, I can understand, I can relate. Even as, a single mother, I am an empty nester now. I've been an empty nester over a year. But it gave me empathy, right? The peaks and valleys of life, this roller coaster that we call life. God allows us to experience things so that we can have empathy for other people. So we're not just like blaming people because life be life. And oftentimes when people go through something really hard, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, financially, they don't feel like they have a safe place, because every time they say something, they're constantly victimized. But in every season, there's always a lesson. And when you learn your lesson, there's a blessing on the other side. And a lot of times it's about taking accountability, right? So my family is very strict and religious and traditional. So when I had my son and I wasn't married, and my mom started doing all this unnecessary children's service, and custody battle stuff with me, I had to have a talk with God, right? But in my talk and my questioning, I also had to take accountability, because I know how I was raised. I know how I was taught. I know that I wasn't married, right? And so because I don't know my dad, if you're familiar with my channel, then my grandparents, they gave me empathy. They said, you know what, this one, doesn't know her dad. I'm one of the few people in my family, like first cousins, second cousins, even like third cousins. Like you might have to go down to like some fourth or fifth cousins, right? Who don't know their dad, because mostly everybody knows their dad, right? Because that's how my family is, whether they're married or they're co-parenting. So they were like, you know what? You don't know your dad. We knew it was going to be some bumps in the road. But I had to take accountability. I couldn't just 100% blame my mom. I couldn't just 100%, blame God, right? I had to look at, well, she wouldn't even be in this position to do this if I had done right the first time, right? Which is another reason how my kid ended up being the only child, and I've only had one pregnancy. I've only been pregnant one time because my family is very strict and very religious and very traditional. And they told me, they said, hey, look, we let the first kid slide, but if you ever do this again, we will plan the wedding for you ourselves. And they really don't believe in divorce like that. So I was like, you know what? You let this one slide. Okay, we good, you know. But I said that to say that Jesus Christ really does love you. I don't ever want you to put too much energy into, social media and put all your time and energy and faith in these prophets and these preachers and ever turn your back on God. That person might have a gift where they can translate the Bible to you. If they have that gift, separate the gift from the person, right? Because God gave them that gift. Now, whether they use it for good or bad, that's a different story. But Jesus is still good. I don't want you to ever get confused by that. And you cannot get into heaven off someone else's faith. But unfortunately, people are being led and influenced to go to hell. Sometimes people feel like serving the devil is fun and exciting and entertaining. And sometimes people think that to be Christian is boring, or they're going to go through a whole bunch of hardship. I know people right now who don't have a relationship with God, and there's always drama in their life. And sometimes when you're interacting with people, whether you're dating with them, friends, things of that nature, sometimes God won't allow certain things to come into your life, because when God gives you something, he's giving it to you to last. When the devil gives you something, it could be here today and gone tomorrow. Everybody is meant to have success and a life of abundance, right? But success is going to look different for different people. Success for somebody might be their dream job. It might be a nice house. It might be a reliable car, right? Success might not be to be a multimillionaire, a billionaire. Like, it's going to look different for everybody. That's why it's not good to compare yourself to other people. And that's the gem I want to give you. I want to give you the blueprint. If you're familiar with my channel, you know I've been in unnecessary court for 12 years. On top of, I even had to sue a landlord before, but that's a different video. And so with all this going on and working in corporate America and co-parenting while my son's dad unfortunately was in prison almost his entire life, I never compared my situation to anybody else. Your life is like your fingerprint. There are similarities and you can learn from other people, but your life is your life. One of the things I always do is I run my own race. I learn from other people's mistakes. And then I also learn from my own mistakes. I'm constantly being a student of life. And that's the blueprint. That's the gem. Sometimes in certain situations, I've had to stick up for myself, right? And I'll never forget, there was a conversation I was having with someone. And I said, you are good at this. And that's okay. But we can't act like I don't know what I know. Like, this is my gift. This is my skill set. Like, I am great at this, right? And I just had to let them know. Sometimes you're the student and sometimes you're the teacher. And when you're ready to learn, let me know. But my name is Nicole. I'm your relationship coach and your motivational speaker. Jesus Christ loves you. He only wants the best for you. God bless you. Take care. Bye-bye.